So I think we can start with Bitcoin, go over last week's short, which looked pretty clean to me, and then we can continue with the Bitcoin outlook for the week and also Forex. Let's go over that trade. Yeah, in our last stream, I was waiting, I think on Monday, I was waiting for a daily closure below this fair value gap to then start look for shorts. But price kept respecting the lower half of this fair value gap, so I didn't get this trigger. The overall bias was bearish, right? Daily was bearish. We traded into the high time frame bearish PDRA, this bearish fair value gap. Then on the daily, we got the change in order flow. Price closed below this fair value gap, for example. We formed the proportional block over here. So I was bearish on the daily. I'm still bearish. These are my next targets, but I'm out of shorts for now. I'm waiting for new triggers. But then on the lower time frames, on the hourly time frames, we had a pretty clean Monday range. We had here Monday's highs, Monday's lows. So even though I didn't get the closure below the daily fair value gap to look for shorts from there, my narrative was that price could trade towards range lows, which also aligns with Monday's lows, right? This is range lows, but also Monday's lows. And we had this weak high over here, which was Monday's highs. So price traded up there. We swept the highs. And at this point, I was waiting for a trigger. We were respecting this fair value gap, H4 fair value gap. We closed above it. So at this point, I was still waiting. No triggers yet. I was waiting for H4 to shift back to bearish, since at this point, especially after the closure above this fair value gap and the high, price could hold above Monday's highs and then trade up here, which must be a daily, no daily fair value gap, maybe a very small one. But price could potentially trade up there. But my bias was bearish, so I wasn't really looking for longs up there. Waited for an hourly shift in order flow, which we got for me once we broke back inside Monday's range with this bearish H4 candle. We broke back inside. We closed below this fair value gap, which was aligning with Monday's highs, range highs. We had range lows still intact, a bunch of weak lows down there. So once we got this closure, we formed a fair value gap as well over here, a bearish fair value gap. We had this order block, a nice high probability order block, an order block that also swept a high. So this was my trigger for shorts. I mean, the pullback was quite deep. I don't know, there was a big candle in the afternoon of the New York session. I don't know what caused this candle. In most markets, we had this big candle. On the H4, as you can see, we were still trading below this fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. We were still respecting the order block. Price was still trading below the lower half of it. So also order block was still fine. So I held my short, and then on Thursday, I think, or Friday, we finally got the expansion toward Monday's lows. And then I think after that, price retraced. My trigger was this one, right? I was expecting H4 to shift back to bearish. I had weekly bearish. I had daily also bearish. It was a good short. The only reason I went half risk was because I didn't really have a daily PDRA aligning with my short. So price was still respecting this fair value gap, which was something I didn't like. But I had the Monday range narrative. I got the confirmation on the hourly time frame and I took the short, and that's why I went half risk, because daily was kinda not so clear to me. I didn't have a clear high time frame PDRA aligning with my short end. Nice example of a Monday range play, which based on statistics is not a scenario that happens often, but me personally, when I get the trigger, I take it, even though I know that most of the times, let's say price will, based on statistics, price will put the high or the low of the week on Monday or Tuesday. Here, we put it on Wednesday. That was the short. So now we had rejection from the lows. Price swept those lows. Price swept a bunch of lows on the daily. And now, weekly remains unchanged. We formed a high now. We have this high over here. So now we have a new weekly dealing range. This one over here. Price already traded in the discount. Almost. And now on the daily for shorts, we have a weak high over here. To be honest, I was expecting this IFG now to show a better reaction. I was expecting price to reject from here already, but Yeah, it doesn't for now. We're trading inside this fair value gap. We'll most likely close above the middle point of this IFG on the daily. We are also closing above this bearish order block, the body. Yeah, I think now I'm waiting for again Monday range to form, and then I want to see some sort of manipulation. We're trading quite close to this daily week high, so I can see price trading above this high, and then from there again I want to see rejection. I want to wait for hourly to shift back to bearish, and then I will start looking for shorts again. For now it doesn't look great for shorts because I want price to sweep that high but still close inside this fair value gap. I don't want to see price closing above this IFG, because if we close above, we don't really have any bearish PDRAs over here on the daily, then I'm not sure. I'm also not interested in longs yet on the daily. So yeah, I want to see how we react for now. For now, this is the key level that I want price to respect, and probably after sweeping that high, since it's a weak high and price kind of formed the range over here, range lows, range highs. We swept range lows, we rejected range lows, we broke back inside that range. Most likely range highs are next, and from there I want to see how price reacts. Of course, the higher probability trades for me for now are still shorts, since again I trade on the H4 and the H1, and for now weekly and daily are still bearish, even though daily is not as bearish as I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's with Bitcoin. On the H4, it's we invalidated all those bearish fair value gaps, closed above, BPR over here, respect the BPR and continue higher. So now we have also an H4 order block, so price could potentially use that order block to trade above the highs, and then from there let's see how price reacts. Yeah, we have a very small inefficiency over here, but yeah, I wouldn't really use this inefficiency as my target. So if we close above, then I really don't know where price is heading, because the next doll for me from here is this high. I mean, we also have this order block, or to be more precise, a proportion block, since price trades into another order block. I can also see price retracing a bit more, a bit deeper in the premium of that range, and then rejecting from there. But ideally for the bearish case, I want to see price respecting this IFG. But yeah, my bias is still bearish. And yeah, I think that's with Bitcoin.